take a seat, take your life, pick it out in black and white. Well, I never lived the dreams of the prom kings and the drama queens. I like to think the best of me is still hiding up my sleeve. They love to tell you, stay inside the lines, but something's better on the other side. I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. I just find out there's no such thing as the real world. Just a lie you've got to rise above. So the good boys and girls take the so-called right track. Faded white hats, grabbing credits and maybe transfers. They read it all the books, but they can't find the answers. And all of our parents are getting older. I wonder if they've wished for anything better, while in their memories, tiny tragedies. They love to tell you, stay inside the lines, but something's better on the other side. I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. I just found out there's no such thing as the real world. Just a lie you've got to rise above. I wanna run through the halls of my high school. I wanna scream at the top of my lungs. I just find out there's no such thing as a real world. Just a lie you've got to rise above. I just can't wait till my senior reunion. I'm gonna bust down the double doors, and when I stand on those tables before you, you will know what all this time was for. Evening, everyone. Welcome to Spontaneous Sunday. My name is Aaron Schaus, and hopefully all the connection stuff tonight is working. It was not yesterday, but I had to do a second stream-ish. For all of you, probably it was probably the same thing, just refreshing your window. But it was a minute of sort of changing all of the settings at one time. The things you don't plan for, but sometimes happen. Anyhow, welcome. I'm glad you're all here. And tonight is our second part of Coming of Age. So that first song is called No Such Thing. It's a John Mayer song. I played a John Mayer song a couple weeks ago on the Hammond. And so that's one of those ones that definitely has ideas of, well, pretty much everything you're told in school, and then you get out in the real world and you learn what the reality of it all is. And there's some things that do carry over, but there's some things you have to learn on your own to become an adult. And I don't know if I have gotten there yet, but maybe none of us have. We all look forward to, trying to maintain a sense of childlike wonder. And I think a lot of what I do in music is just that, is trying to find new ways to play, new ways to discover new harmonies and new melodies. And that's kind of the whole thing about being a child, is that everything is new. So anyhow, I will get to the chat in just a moment. I'm going to follow up here with an Elton John song. And this goes back to 1972, earlier in his career. And this is one of those sort of you've gone to the city, you've grown up, and everyone's saying, go back to where you came from. This is, go back to the farm. This is not Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, by the way, but this is one called Honky Cat. I hope you enjoy. Fishing in the stream, looking for an answer, trying to find a sign, until I saw your city lights, and honey, I was blind. They said, get back, a honky cat, gotta get back to the woods. Well, I quit those days and my redneck ways, and do me good. Get back, a honky cat, living in the city ain't nowhere it's hide. It's like trying to find gold in a silver mine. It's like trying to drink whiskey, from a bottle of wine. Books and I read some magazines about those high-class ladies down in New Orleans, and all the fools back home. Well, they said I was a fool. They said, leaving Lord is the golden rule. They said, get back, honky cat, better get back to the woods. Well, I witnessed those days and my redneck ways, and change is gonna do me good. called Honky Cat by Elton John. Yes, better get back to the woods. Well, I quit those days and my redneck ways and yes, all of that stuff. All right, let's see who is in the chat this evening. I'm going to scroll up to the top. Ooh, Matt sent a request. Thank you, Matt, and a super chat here. I saw her standing there. I think I can find that one. That's somewhere in here. First off, we're going to do the chat, though. Let's see here. What key should I do tonight? Let's do D flat. It's a very beautiful key. Welcome to Spontaneous Sunday, as we explore coming of age. It's time to see who's in the chat. First in the chat, it's Matt from Northern California. Hello, Matt. Next in the chat, it's Jill Herzog. Hello, Jill. Hello, Jill. And next in the chat, it's Robert Varner. You get that little minor chord because it's beautiful. Hello, Robert. And next in the chat, it's Brooks Lennick. Hello, Brooks. Welcome to the show, the shows. And next in the chat, it's Lena from North Carolina. Hello, Lena. Welcome to the shows. Let me get this right. And next in the chat, it's Cam Platz. Hello, Cam. And I see Georges is here. Hello, Georges. Georges is local. Hello. And next in the chat, I see it's Zhenghua Shenshang, who is awake very late in Germany. Hello, Zhenghua. And curiously enough, Paul Audley is here, though he's in New Hampshire. But why is it curious enough? Because he says here he's snowed in today. With snow, da 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 da. Hello, Paul. Sometimes that works out quite well. Cam says Kristen is sitting beside him knitting. Hello, this is the knitting needle. Hello, Kristen. your knitting's going well. And next in the chat is Lauren, I believe in Ohio. Lauren used to live in North Carolina, and now she lives in Ohio. Hello, Lauren, hello. And next in the chat, it's Julian. Hello, Julian. And now I see that my mom is in the chat. Hello, Mom, and possibly Dad. And that's the chat for this Sunday. All right. Cool, good group here this evening. I'm glad you're all here. Okay, well, and Brooks sent a super chat. Thank you, Brooks. Yes, thank you to you and to Matt earlier for the super chat. So Matt had a super chat and a request, which means I'm going to spend extra time to try and find this, but I think I do have it here somewhere. Oh, there, yep. Okay, and Matt wants me to do I Saw Her Standing There, 1963, with my awesome vocal harmony machine. This guy, this vocal harmony machine. Yes. So I think I described this a few times now, but in case you do not know, the keyboard that is up here, even though it says Arturia, that's a French company, I believe. Arturia makes, among other things, they emulate making digital versions of emulations of vintage synthesizers from, gosh, 60s and beyond, up through probably the 80s and 90s. And they're really, really good. And I have a lot of their stuff. But they also make MIDI controllers, and this is one of their small ones. This thing makes no sound by itself. It's just a controller. So when I push a C, oh, you can hear that. Basically, what's happening is this is sending a signal to another machine that's not part of this. And that other machine is receiving the signal, say, for instance, a G here, or yeah, how high it is, a G here, F there, and it's taking whatever I'm singing into this microphone, duplicating it, so making a second version of it, and it's shifting the pitch of that second version to whatever key I'm playing. And I can do up to 4 of them. So if I have a C, if I sing a C, if I play a C major chord, which would be E, G, and C, C, hello, hello. And so you can hear there's multiples of me. Hello, 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 hello. By itself sounds quite odd. With some reverb, and I can do some bass stuff. Hello, hello. This is the harmonizer. It makes my voice sound like a choir, a choir. Yes. Anyhow. Ooh, ooh. Yes, you can see that. It's pretty cool. I really, really enjoy this thing. So, so he wants me to do I Saw Her Standing There. I Saw Her Standing There. Okay, well this one normally is too high for me. Paul McCartney's, I mean, this is really. I'm not going to play up there. That's an E major, but I'm going to play it down a bit. Let's see here. I'm going to do it just from sight. So I don't have this music. I have a lead sheet here that has the music, melody line, and chord symbols, and the words. So this is really impromptu. But I'll try it in this key, and hopefully that'll work. All right. Let's try this. This is I Saw Her Standing There. He wants me to use the harmonizer for this, so I'll try some of that. Let me find a groove for this. How about this one maybe? Just to give us something. What does this sound like? That works just fine. Okay, we're gonna try this. This is I Saw Her Standing There. Lennon McCartney, 1963. Hopefully this goes well. I know this song fairly well, so I can probably play it in this other key, but this is completely just winging this. All right. Get myself a doubling too. All right, cool. Just 17, and you know what I mean, and the way she looked was way beyond compare. And how could I dance with another? Ooh, when I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I couldn't see that before too long I'd found in love with her. But she couldn't dance with another. Ooh, when she saw me standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in mine. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I found love with her. Now I'll never dance with another. Ooh, when I saw her standing there. My heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in mine. Oh, when we danced through the night, when we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. Now I'll never dance with another. Ooh, when I saw her standing there. standing there. Saw her standing there. There you go. I saw her standing there. Oh, goodness me. Yes. That's pretty cool, though. Yes, and there's that really cool chord in that one. Let's see. Let's see. Woo! Way up there. See, if I did that in E major, I don't have that note. Nope, it's not there. I don't have that high E there, so I'm glad I did it in the lower key. But thank you for that request, Matt. I appreciate it. And that was a fun, spontaneous thing there. So this is what we do here. All right. Next thing I want to do for you guys here. Let's see. I'm going to try this. This is going to be, how about this? I'm going to pick I don't really choose these sounds too often on this piano. This keyboard has a wealth of different kinds of pianos and other things too. And one of them that it has a bunch of are upright pianos. And I don't really use them because if you have a grand piano sound, which I usually use as the grand piano, it's much fuller. But the upright piano, you can hear it's a different sound. For that, let's see. All right, so I'll use this for the next one. This is from a musical, and when I was a kid, there was a movie that I watched a lot called Matilda that was based on a book. And they made a musical of it around 2010 or 11. And I see Elizabeth is here. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Beth is local here, and she mentions this is Palm Sunday. It is Palm Sunday, and that's why I'm wearing my Palm shirt from earlier today. Yes, we sing. We sing this morning. All glory, Lord, and honor to whom the lips of children may sweet hosannas ring, as opposed to may spicy hosannas ring. Yeah, they want just the sweet ones, not the spicy ones. Spicy hosannas are not for this time; they're for later in the week. Anyhow, that was this morning. Yeah, it was Palm Sunday, which could be a day, or it could be a dollop of ice cream and whipped cream and a cherry in your hand, which could also be a Palm Sunday, but that's Sundae. Anyhow, all right, I've got an upright piano sound here. And this comes from Matilda, the musical. I don't know this musical, actually, and but the composer is Tim Minchin. He's kind of a comedian, and I think he's from Australia. Had a lot of songs he's written just kind of as comedy songs, but I guess he was picked to do the music for this musical. And there's a song in Matilda the musical, allegedly, which is what I have in front of me here, called "When I Grow Up." And there's another song later on that will be similar title but different group. But anyhow, "When I Grow Up," and in his style, this must be in the musical as well, but this has a lot of just it's the kid mindset of the things I get to do when I'm all grown up, and it's kind of funny actually. So I'll sing it just sort of straight here as it's written, since I don't know it very well. But in my digging to find some songs this week, this one came up more than once, and I thought, well, I'll try this. So as far as coming of age, this is when the kid is looking at an adult, thinking of things I'll do when I'm an adult. Hopefully this goes well. I have not practiced this, as I don't do any of these things, but this has a lot of words that I'm seeing on the page here. So we're going to see how this goes. It's called "When I Grow Up" from Matilda the musical. When I grow up, I will be tall enough want to reach the branches that I need to reach to climb the trees you get to climb when you're grown up. And when I grow up, I will be smart enough to answer all the questions that you need to know the answers to before you're grown up. And when I grow up, I will eat sweets every day on the way to work, and I will go to bed late every night. And when I wake up, well, the sun comes up, and I will watch cartoons until my eyes go square, and I won't care, 'cause I'll be all grown up when I grow up. When I grow up, when I grow up, when I grow up, I will be strong enough to carry all the heavy things you have to haul around with you when you're a grown-up. And when I grow up, when I grow up, when I grow up, I will be brave enough to fight the creatures that you have to fight beneath the bed each night to be a grown-up. When I grow up, when I grow up, I will have treats every day, and I'll play with things that Mom pretends that moms don't think are fun. And when I wake up, when the sun comes up, and I will spend all day just lying in the sun, and I won't burn, 'cause I'll be all grown up when I grow up. Just because you find that life's not fair, it doesn't mean that you just have to grin and bear it. If you always take it on the chin and wear it, nothing will change. Just because I find myself in this story, it doesn't mean that everything is written for me. If I think the ending is fixed already, I might as well be saying, I think that it's okay. And that's not right. That's how it ends. Thank you, Mom, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Give me a heart there. Thank you. Yes, so that's called When I Grow Up. Goodness me. It's kind of funny, though. I like all the ideas there. I'll spend all day lying in the sun, and I won't burn because I'll be all grown up. And I'll be strong enough to carry all the heavy things you have to haul around with you when you're a grown up. Yes, we have to carry a lot of heavy things, right? Like stress. Anyhow. Hello, Christian. Welcome. But it worked well with that piano sound. Yeah, as opposed to a grand piano. Yes. All right. Well, let me change things here. Since I have a good connection, I can do this unlike yesterday. All right, I'm going to go over to the organ, and we'll continue from there. This is behind me, the Hammond organ. All right. All right, back over here. So I don't know if I have control of my phone today. I was trying to get that earlier and it wasn't quite working. I'll try once more here and see, but I don't think I will have that connection. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's doing it. Yeah. Sorry about this. I'm trying to be able to control cameras from far away. But no, it's not changed. Let me go back and change that. So I'll do this once. I'll have one camera view, but it will be the correct camera view where you can see my face and the keys. All right, this will have to do for now. It's okay. I will work out this stuff later, these tech issues. But we have organ, right? Yes, okay. Sorry about that. A little bit of a lull there, but all right, next up here. This is a song that was recorded by Brandi Carlile. She just released an album with Elton John like a couple weeks ago. But this is not from that album. This is a separate song that she recorded in 2007. And it's probably one of her biggest hits. I don't know a ton of her music, but this is one of those that I think was one of her more well-known things. This is called The Story. And the words, since I'm not going to sing this for you, the range is incredible, the melody in this song. It jumps a 12th? Is it 12th? I think it jumps to 12th. Yeah, it goes from a B flat up to a F, yeah, which is really high. So I'm not going to try to sing that. Anyhow, it's called The Story, and basically I'll just read some of this to you here to see how it kind of ties in. The first verse is, all of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been and how I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you. I climbed across mountaintops, swam across the ocean blue. I crossed all the lines and I broke all the rules. And baby, I broke them all for you. Because even when I was flat broke, you made me feel like $1 million. You do, and I was made for you. So it definitely has a vibe of, have experienced a lot in my life, but this is the story of all the things in my life. So called The Story, Brandi Carlile, and I'm going to try this here on the organ. I don't know this song super well, but like I said, it's from what I listened to the recording, it's quite a big range in the melody line itself. So let's try this and see how it goes. called The Story by Brandy Carlisle. Yes. Again, yeah, it's all in the beginning is just totally fine. All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many. It goes way up there. So there's no way I'm singing that song. She has a range that is incredible. Anyhow, all right. This next one is a request from Rue, and I don't think I saw Rue in the chat today yet. So maybe she can watch this later. But yes, this is a Beach Boys song, similar title to the one I played before this last one. This is called When I Grow Up to Be a Man. Brian Wilson, Mike Love of the Beach Boys. This is 1964. And it was sort of somewhat of a hit of theirs. And I'll try it here on the organ. I'm seeing off the bat, it has got a fun chord to begin here. It looks like a normal chord, but then it's not because the bass note kind of gives that thing. Anyway, this is an E flat, the first chord of the piece, E flat with the fifth sharp, which is that. It's an augmented chord, but with a bass note of D flat, it's tolerable. Anyhow, this is called When I Grow Up. That's the genius of those guys, is that they just had these incredible harmonies in pop music. But yeah, this is Beach Boys. I hope you enjoy When I Grow Up to Be a Man. I grow up to be a man. It has like a calypso sound to it, and I was trying to keep that going in the bass line there, and it was not quite loud enough, and I brought it up a little bit so that. A lot of footwork there. Yes, but anyhow, that's how you do that. A lot of Buffett songs have that kind of a groove. Margaritaville for one of them. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It's that sort of calypso sound. Yes, that's the same way. Anyhow, all right. One more here for you at the organ. This is a song that goes back to the 70s. The song is by Janice Ian, or Ian, I'm not sure. I think it's Ian. Someone correct me, probably, because I don't know. But this is the only song of hers that I know. Let's see here. Looks like Jeannie's here. Hello, Jeannie. Good to see you. Yes, I'm looking back here and see. Have I missed anybody here? Christian's heading. Oh, no. Was it Christian heading out? Or was it? Oh, it's Senghua. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So he's out of here. Cool. Well, glad to have you guys here. All right. So, yes, this is. Is it Janice Ian or Ian? I-A-N. I want to say Ian. Anyhow, I should know better, but this is the only one of hers that I know. Song's called At 17. Also has kind of a Latin sound to it. I don't know if I should try to sing this. There's a lot of words. Should I try and sing this? Maybe a little bit of this. We'll see. Yeah, I'll try a little bit. So anyway, this is called At 17. Definitely a coming of age song. So you'll see with the words. So here we go. Smiles, who married young and then retired. The Valentines I never knew, the Friday nights, charades of youth, were spent on one more beautiful. At 17 I learned the truth. Lacking in the social graces, desperately remained at home, inventing lovers on the phone, who called to say, come dance with me, and murmured vague obscenities. It isn't all it seems at 17. what she needs. Guarantee of company, a haven for the elderly. Remember those who win the game lose the love they sought to gain in adventures of quality and dubious integrity. Their small town eyes will gape at you in dull surprise, and payment due exceeds accounts received at 17. That is 17. At 17. And I think I saw here that Christian helped me out. Thank you, Christian, for Ian. I was correct. And yes, the words are brutally truthful. Yes, it's definitely very real. Goodness me. And I love the chords. And I love that the second part of the song completely shifts and lifts into this new major key. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to head back over to the Nord here and change microphones. All right. One of these days, I feel like I'm going to have like a chair that just turns around and I'm playing both. But they're separate things because there's a pedal board, and when there's pedal boards, you have to do that. So anyhow, all right. There was a request this week when I posted this theme, and the request was for me to sing one of my original songs. Last week I did the same thing. I had an original song that fit the theme, and then Jerry went, and I think also Jill too, who's there tonight. Yeah, Jerry requested this one, and it's from an album that I released 3 years ago, I think. It was during the pandemic. So I told you last week that I released an album in 2020, just as a test to see if I could do it, and follow that up with another album that was kind of my homage to music of the 50s and 60s, particularly Motown. So I released this album called Yesteryear. And the title track of that album was at the very, very end, almost at the album. And the whole point of that album, like I said, was a 50s, 60s tribute. And I wanted to tell a story of, like a love story through the whole thing. So the album goes through a relationship. And so during that early part of the pandemic, like I said, I was writing a lot of songs, and this was more of a concept. This whole album had a arc to it. And so the beginning of the album has all these very upbeat and lighthearted, it's the first chapter of our relationship and all these things. So it's pretty cool. And then it kind of goes through these ups and downs. And then there's a breakup song in the end called Throughout, and it's very, very sad. And then there's a song called Glass Half Full, which sort of looking at the bright side of things of life. And then I followed that up with the ending, which was called Yesteryear, which was the title of the album. And Yesteryear, the concept of that song came to me because I was thinking about childhood, and at some point in all of our childhoods, if you had friends growing up that you played outside with, and you run around and they were your friends that you played all the time with as childhood, there was a day in all of our childhoods that was the last day you played with your friends, and you didn't know it was the last day. And that was really kind of a sad but also nostalgic idea, and I didn't consider that until just out of the blue. It was one of those sort of, I don't know, morning thoughts that I had. And so anyway, so I wrote a song about that, and it was called Yesteryear. All the memories of childhood, and you think of all these things that you grew up with, and at some point there was a day in all of our lives that was the last day we got to spend with our friends before we all went off and did our own thing. We don't remember at least most of us, I don't think. If you do, it's pretty incredible. Remember that day that it was, but I don't. But we all had that kind of experience as kids, and it kind of just blends into our memory, our history. So that's why this where this song came from. So definitely nostalgia, and there's elements in it of coming of age, of growing up, because the song is sung from a perspective of a person who's looking back on all this stuff. And so I'll try and sing it for you. I never have sung this with solo piano before. The album version has, it's just me singing with an orchestra behind me. It's anyhow, sort of an orchestral arrangement behind me. So I'm playing piano in the arrangement, but it's not solo. So I'm going to try this solo and see how this goes. Hopefully this goes well. I don't know if I can sing it as well as I did in the album, but that's the beauty of studio stuff. You can take multiple takes until you get one that you like. Oh, Matt, thank you for this super chat and request. Oh, goodness. I don't know if I have Kodachrome music in front of me, but thank you for that. So first off, I'm gonna try this one. This is called Yesteryear. Again, this is an original, and it's nostalgia all the way through. And then at the last verse, I talk about the last day that we all hang out with our friends and didn't know it was the last day. And it's all in the past, but it's all still a really good feeling. So this is Yesteryear. Remember the old house. Remember the backyard where we'd play. Remember the summer 3-month holiday. We never felt lonely. We always had friends by our side. No cares for us someday. Just take it in stride. We had everything here in yesteryear. Remember the street lights. Remember the bike paths we made. Remember the ice cream and cold lemonade. Those kind-hearted neighbors who never complained or got mad. We made the most of each second we had. We had yesteryear. And when I look back, it seems so foreign to compare, and yet still familiar somehow. It's all in the past, but dreams were easier there. And like us, they've changed. So where are they now? Remember the pop songs, remember the movies and style, remember the worn shoes and our toys in a pile. But when was the last time, the very last time we'd all spent together, not knowing that it was the end? It's no longer clear in yesteryear. We had everything here in yesteryear. That's yesteryear. Yeah, so definitely has the nostalgia to it, but all the things. And I threw some kind of cool chords in there as well. It was part of the song. I just wanted to have this kind of, not Frank Sinatra, but just sort of this crooner thing with orchestra, and that was the idea of this 1950s kind of sound. And anyhow, so I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, that's yesteryear. So if you haven't listened to that album is on all of the platforms. YouTube Music has it, and Spotify and Apple Music. It's all there. So anyhow, yes. All right, a couple more for you. I see here Lena's written that she enjoys that. Yeah, thank you, Lena. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the thing is when I write songs, you're writing because you're singing it yourself. So I try to write things that sort of fit my voice, and hopefully that comes across because I should know my voice fairly well. Anyhow, this next one is a Billy Joel song, and I believe I played the Billy Joel song yesterday that Brooks requested, which was Vienna. This is not one that was requested, but it's one that I do like, and it definitely has a kind of coming of age feel to it. I think he wrote this song, from what I understand, to talk about sort of the highs and lows of life. And sometimes you feel really excited and really happy, and then there's other times that you don't feel that way. And so this song talks about the best times, the worst times, and kind of everything in between of your life, and thinking back on all the things. And there's some sadness to it, but it's called Summer Highland Falls, and really beautiful song. And he's talked about before the harmony of this song. I'll show you on the piano here before I begin this. I mentioned the ups and downs of life. Well, each of the chords kind of goes up and down and up and down. So the first chord is F, and then A minor, and then down to G minor, then up to B flat, then down to A minor, then to C up, then down to B flat. So the chords of the song do that up and down zigzag motion. yeah, it's a just really kind of a poignant song. So I hope you enjoy this. This is called Summer Highland Falls by Billy Joel. Best of times, but they're the only times I've ever known. And I believe there is a time for meditation in cathedrals of our own. Now I have seen that sad surrender in my lover's eyes, and I can only stand upon and sympathize. For we are always what our situations hand us. It's either sadness or euphoria. So we'll argue and we'll compromise and realize that nothing's ever changed. For all our mutual experience, our separate conclusions are the same. Now we are forced to recognize our inhumanity. Reason coexists with our insanity. And though we choose between reality and madness, it's either sadness or euphoria. We dissipate our energy. Reason coexists with our insanity. And though we choose between reality and madness, it's either sadness or euphoria. It's either sadness or euphoria. That is Summer Highland Falls by Billy Joel. Jeannie says she's hoping for Italian restaurant. That's a long song. But, and I'm so sorry to hear that, Matt. Yeah. It's one of those things. This is kind of what this all is about. This is, life is full of ups and downs. And the best folks that I've known are the ones that can, Jerry's one of these guys, best folks that I've known that can take dark times, or take times that are really sad sometimes, and find ways to find silver linings in them. And those folks, you want them around your life, because they're the ones that can really get you through the hard stuff. And like I said, I think Jerry's one of those guys. He's always positive, always just positive, and that's an amazing quality that he has. Not all of us can keep our minds there all the time, but anyhow, thank you for sharing that, Matt. And yeah, Italian restaurant, Jeannie, that's a long one. And I can do it all. I know that song backwards and forwards, but I might have sung that one a little while ago. I can't remember. Did I do that one on my travel theme? I did a traveling theme, and that because it was an Italian restaurant, maybe that was it, or maybe there was a food theme. I can't remember. No, it was during the drinks theme, which was, I think, back in February. Maybe I had a theme of beverages, and because that song opens up with the bottle of white, bottle of red, yeah, about the bottle of wine. So anyhow, go back. I think I do the whole thing on that one. I believe I do. I don't know if I did the whole song. All that stuff, That's a fun one. Which also, that song originally was called The Ballad of Brenda and Eddie. And he was trying to mimic the Beatles, as a lot of his songs are trying to do. And yeah, so that song is trying to mimic... you never give me your money. You don't then give me your funny papers. Anyhow, the Beatles song. So he wanted a song that had different sections to it and made it feel like that. And anyhow, so the opening of that song is that Italian restaurant scene, and then it goes into the Ballad of Brenda and Eddie, and then goes back and repeats the opening section in a slightly different way, sort of to make it feel like this was meant to be the whole time. This is an entire, suite of songs here. But anyhow, all right. One more for you, folks. My voice is certainly tired. That's okay. We've had 2 streams this week. So next weekend, I'm going to do a break. It's Easter next weekend. So we will be off next week and then back again on the 27th. I think that's the next one. So let's meet back up then, shall we? This last one is a Phil Collins song. This one comes from the 90s, my childhood. This was part of a movie that, called Tarzan that was animated. And I have played before a really beautiful song from the movie as well that's called You'll Be in My Heart. But this is not that one. This is another one called Strangers Like Me. And definitely has a feel of, coming of age, growing up. So I'll sing some of this for you. It's again, my voice might give out for this. We'll see how this goes. But yes, Phil Collins. This is called Strangers Like Me. It's from Tarzan, 1999. That's when this came out. And we'll see how this goes. So I hope you enjoy this. Hopefully the words speak to you. It's called Strangers Like Me. Whatever you do, I'll do it too. Show me everything and tell me how. It all means something and nothing to me. Oh, I can see there's so much to learn. It's all so close and yet so far. I see myself as others see me. Oh, I just know there's something bigger out there. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about the strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. Every gesture, every move that she makes me feel like never before. Why do I have this growing need to be beside her? All these emotions I never knew. Some other world far beyond this place, beyond the trees, above the clouds. Oh, I see before me a new horizon. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about the strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. Come with me now to see my world, where there's beauty beyond your dreams. Can you feel the things I feel right now with you? Take my hand, there's a world you need to know. me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. I wanna know. I wanna know, please show me. I wanna know about the strangers like me. Tell me more, please show me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. Something's familiar about the strangers like me. Strangers like me, strangers like me. All right, thank you folks for listening to Spontaneous Sunday. Whew. Anyhow, hope you've enjoyed the evening as I have, and we've all grown up a little bit. So I'll say to you, for 2 weeks now, we'll be off. Well, off for 1 week, I'll be back in 2 weeks. So for now, have a great evening, have a great week, and I will see you